This week's episode is sponsored by Impressive Jewels by Lisa Carter. Lisa Carter has been my consultant since inception of the Right Along with Vanessa morning show. So go to impressivejewels.net today. Get you a little something. You deserve it. This week's episode is sponsored by Dollhouse of Tampa Salon and Studio, where the inner doll is created. Styling services they offer are sew-ins, quick weaves, relaxers, facial waxing, eyelash extensions, and much, much more. It's time for you to find your inner doll. Contact Selena today, serving the Tampa Bay and surrounding areas of Florida. And make sure you follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Hello everyone, Vanessa Klinger here, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator. Would you like to be a guest on our talk show, Spiritually Speaking, with my co-host, Michelle Massey-Washington? Well, go out to the website, www.vanessaklinger.com, complete the form, and your sponsorship includes a guest spot. We look forward to meeting you and highlighting your product, service, or event. Stay in love.
This is thy kingdom come. Let the spirit of the Holy One pass over. Let your peace cover the earth. Lord, let your will be done. This is the time to take a stand, to let the world know that you can. Face tomorrow, but today is the day that you say I will reign.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator.
And I'm Michelle, the motivator, your innovolutionist meditator.
Yay! Welcome, everyone, to Spiritually Speaking. We hope you guys had a great week. How was your week, co-host?
It was good. It was enlightening. It was breathtaking.
Ooh. I like those. I like those. That's right, guys. So if you'd like to be a guest on Spiritually Speaking, go out to vanessaklinger.com/show sponsor, complete the form, and we'll get back to you. We're taking slots for the upcoming season. I don't know what month that's going to be, but we're going to actually run the campaign in April when we wrap up the season here. So we want to give you an opportunity, especially all the people out there in social media world, for the opportunity to give a product, service, or event. Go out to the website, complete the form. We have price points for every budget. We just want you to give you the exposure that you deserve to promote your amazing product, service, or event. So go out to vanessaklinger.com/show sponsor. Yeah. So we wrapped up Noah a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. I really hope you guys had a chance to catch it. If not, you need to, you can go out to KP Media TV on your Roku, Apple, Amazon, Android television and go into the video demand channel. I actually have a channel there, and all of the videos that we have broadcasted via KP Media are there, and you can catch up on Spiritually Speaking, because I'm telling you, this Michelle Massey-Washington, she ain't no joke. So, she will school you and enlighten you into the Word of God. I'm just telling you right now. Right?
Giving you a few tools, just a few tools.
And some enlightenment. Wow, just such amazing information that just helps to expand your consciousness, and that's the objective here at Spiritually Speaking.
Well, a lot of us are stuck. We're still stuck in normal. We're stuck in his story instead of our story. So it's just time to come up higher, come up to the high places, and let's grow up in the spirit so that we can go forth, because this, for such a time as this, we've been called to this place. And so we're already equipped. We were not sent here to learn, we were sent here to remember. And so we've been conditioned that we're here to learn, but we're actually here to remember because we're already equipped. So we just forgot that we knew. So
Yeah, yeah, and let's hope that. Well, I believe that this show will be attract that the right people will attract this show. I really believe that. Like you said, for such a time as this, I believe that we were prepared, made to fit for this time, and to be able to enlighten and encourage and help to awaken those who are asleep, for them to remember and to
right,
remember.
and it's basically the foundation of communion. Because often as we do this, we do it in remembrance of what we already know, and so we're coming together in communion because some miss it because they're asleep. And so we're waking them up into, it's really not new, it's just renewed in that we're returning back to the new state.
Yes.
So as we begin to become responsible for our own well-being, and God doesn't want us to depend on him, he wants us to be independent in him. So when you're dependent on someone, that means um, you have a disability to carry yourself. But God is empowering us to carry our own self because he's given us dominion over our own land, and your land is your own body. And so it's very vital that we grow up and put away childish things, the childish ways. And a lot of times we're just not asking questions of ourselves that will cause us to dig a little deeper and begin to study to show ourselves approved.
Right. Right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So we've given you a warm up there. So go grab your refreshing beverage. Grab your phones with your Bible apps. We're going to be going into the next part of the Genesis highlights. And we're going to be talking about Abraham tonight. I'm excited. I'm excited about Abraham. We're going to run 2 ads. So you guys stay tuned and we'll be right back. To start your 2021, go to Okay. Let's try this. Hello, 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 everyone. It is a new year, new season, new everything. So join me Friday on the Right Along with Vanessa Morning Show for another exciting topic and another word that's going to bring you the raw, real enlightenment and encouragement that you need for 2021. Join me, won't you? Stay in love. Start your 2021. Go to www.vanessaklinger.com. Click the free book giveaway button. Complete your details, and I will ship a free book to you. Stay in love. All right. We are back. That's right. So here at Stay in Love Motivations, I give away 10 free books every month to all of you who would like a copy of one of my books, Time to Transform. Is That All You Got? Bring It. And Grace, Life's Traveling Companion. So go out to vanessaklinger.com, complete the free book, click the free book button, and complete your details, and I'll send you a free book of your choosing. So tonight, we are talking about Abraham. And I just went and titled it, Wherefore Art Thou, Abraham? Because this is going to be it's going to be the introduction of Abraham. And everyone, I think the majority of us are familiar with the Abraham story, but when you and I get together, it's mind expanding.
Yeah, because we want to give you revelation. The Bible ends in Revelation, and that's where we begin because we've had the Old Testament, we've had the New Testament, and we are the Now Testament. And so the Now Testament is supposed to be full of light, revelation to everything that has occurred in his story. And now we're writing our own story in the Now Testament. And so what we do is we take hold of the things of the old, the things of the new, and we're going to the things of the now. And so if you look at the word know, you drop the K and it's now. So we're knowing now where we stand. So God said we fail for the lack of knowing for now, but bringing ourselves in this present moment. We are still looking for normal, that we were conditioned, and there is no normal because we have not established that we are beings, spiritual beings that constantly change on a daily basis. So that's why we have to stay in the now, because the bread from the manna from yesterday is stale. And so he said, don't save. He told the children of Israel, do not save the bread that you got today, because tomorrow I'm going to give you something new. And many of us are still holding on to our bank accounts. We're still holding on to our jobs. We're still holding on to people who don't help us in becoming our greatest version of ourselves. We are still walking in fear, and it's the fifth dimension. We've been released from that. We're still walking in slavery. The slavery is over. We've been released into the land of milk and honey. This is the season of riches and royalty, and we're still looking for poverty because we've been conditioned that we're supposed to be, that the people of God are supposed to be poverty-stricken people. And how can you be in a kingdom and be poverty-stricken? You must be prosperity-stricken. And so when we talk about Abraham, we're going to talk about a lot of things that relate to our now. Even though it's Old Testament, we're going to revelate it to our now testament.
And, let me just, now she said we're holding on to our jobs. We're holding on to certain things. Now, listen, please don't misconstrue what she said. She's not telling you to wake up tomorrow and tell your boss, take this job and shove it. She's saying to you, what I'm hearing, my love, is that some of us have allowed these things to have us, and us.
Yes.
Not,
We're thinking that our job is really our source.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you don't work. Don't walk away from your job if God hasn't instructed you to do that. But we must decide within ourselves that we are a people that create. And until we get to that point, then you cannot move forward unless your mind is moving forward. If your mind is not moving forward, your body is not going to move forward. And I'm just saying we're continue to look to these things that are temporary. And we're trying to take a temporary thing and make it fit in a permanent situation. And so we have to be enlightened that those outside things are only temporary. So we can't bring those outside things into a permanent spiritual place because they don't fit. And that's the reason some of us are unhappy. Some of us are depressed. We have anxiety. We're stressed out because we were not created to be pressed in that manner, especially for a number of years, just back to back. Some of these things are just emergency mode things, but we've made them permanent things. And it's become the foundation of illness. It's become the foundation of mental instability. It's all foundational of why we're so sick, why we're so down, why we're not moving in a greater way that we should be, because we're creators and we should be creating a way and offering a way up to God that we can go into. And so this is kind of what Abraham was faced with. He is a descendant. He's a descendant of Seth. And we're going to move into 12. So we moved from Noah. So really Abraham is a descendant of Noah because Seth was one of the children. And so as we find ourselves going back to our inheritance from all of those that have come before us, we must be absolutely encouraged to know that we were left something in the will.
Right. And okay, because Noah represented the ending of something, because God wiped everything clean and established a new covenant with Abraham. And then Abraham had Seth, and Seth had, not Abraham, Noah had Seth, and then Seth had Abraham.
Well, he was in the lineage. He wasn't actually his son, but he was in the lineage. You know, all the
Okay.
begot. They begot
Oh,
this.
well,
And
you know, who
begot
reads that? You know, I get
So,
lost in begotten.
way
this,
down in the begots.
Yep.
He was.
Abraham was there.
Born. Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me shut up. Go ahead, girl.
So one thing we must establish that he was not originally called Abraham. He was originally called Abram. It says, now the Lord, this is chapter 12, verse 1. It says, now the Lord said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and away from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. So that's verse 1 and 2. So the first thing that we want to stop on is that we got to get away from some things, some people.
Yeah, I just renamed tonight's topic. Get out.
First thing he said is get out of your country. Now, the English language plays with words, and the words have been changed. So when you say con, you're thinking about somebody that's trying to deceive you. So get away from your con and the things that are trying you. So get away from your country. That's get away from this land, allowing your body to rule and to think, because your body does not have a mind. Your body, when you allow your body to think for you, it has become a habit. And so what we have to do, he said, get out of that. You know, get out of that conditioned stuff. Get out of all of those things that people, we're talking about outside forces, have conned you into believing. And we can get into some really deep things when we talk about the United States have conned us. This is not
That's
really our
video.
country.
That's another video. Don't worry. We're gonna talk about it next season, ladies and gentlemen. Because see, this is just like your orientation to the depths of how far the great Michelle Massey-Washington wants to take us. So it's to prepare you and so that you can know, go out and get your spiritual scuba gear. Because next season, we're going deep.
Really deep.
We're going deep.
And the faint at heart are not going to be able to take it.
Nope.
They're not going to believe it.
Nope.
Because there's so many things that we're coming out of. I once was blind, but now I see. And we're not talking about eyesight. We're talking about insight. And as we begin to move into that, you have got to be prepared for the dive, because it's going to be so deep. You're like, oh, she's just telling a lie. But once we get to it next season, you're going to already be in it. So you're going to be able to see it if you're awake, or if you're still asleep, you'll be a doubter. And so he told Abraham.
Let me interject, please. Thank you, Spirit. The ones who are asleep, they're going to be so uncomfortable.
Yes.
You know, have you ever been sleeping somewhere and the noise was just so annoying that you just couldn't, you're just like, man, I can't get no rest. This is what it's going to be like, ladies and gentlemen, because God has done a new thing. He's done it, right? So for those of you who are asleep, you will have no peace until you allow yourself to come up higher. And to come up higher, we got to take you deep. Go ahead on, co-host.
So you must know how to swim, because you won't be able to float. You've got to know how to swim. You've got to be able to know how to take the water, how to move with the water, because we are basically made of water. And so we are in a sea, a S-E-A. And you're going to have to see, S-E-E, that you're in a S-E-A. And that the water is so important in order for you to get to your next destiny and the next place in God.
Yep. And the water is representation of the spirit and your emotions.
Yes. So you've got to swim with the spirit. The spirit will lead you, but you've got to keep up with the spirit, because the spirit is not going to pull you. The spirit is a perfect, quote unquote, gentleman. It will offer you a place beside it, in it, around it, But you must make a decision according to your will that you're going to swim with it. And so you got to be right there. You cannot get behind because you don't know how to swim. And it's pretty close to those virgins that had oil and those that didn't. And so as we begin to dive into all of those things, you got to know how to swim. Because when we say deep, yeah, deep calls unto deep. So you gotta have your spiritual mind ready. So he told Abraham, he said, get out of that con. Stop allowing your body to con you. And we're even going further to stop allowing your head to con you, because your head thought needs your heart mind first. I'm not saying you don't think with your head, but I'm saying you need your heart mind first, because your heart mind is working in faith. Your head mind is working in fear, because we've been conned mentally.
Right. And your heart is your true source of who you really are.
Right. Because this is not who you are, because it's been tampered with. You've been conditioned. And so your heart is going to level you out, because God is speaking to you there. That's why he said, I look at the heart. I don't look at the outside. And he's talking about all those things that have been coming to just do this to your mind. And your mind has been cluttered. It's not that you don't need your mind. It's that you've got to get in balance so that your heart can tell your head, this is the way that we're going. And once your heart tells your head that, you're going to follow it. When your head tells your heart something, it won't follow it. Mm-hmm. And anything that is artificial intelligence, it has everything that we have but a heart. So anything without a heart is anything without God. So you have to find yourself in that way. And he said, get out of that country, out of that cunning. We've been conned by our country that we're walking in, that we call. Yes. This is not our country. It's not our country. This is not what was willed to us, the way it's being branded and the way the deception has gone on. But it's been passed down from generation to generation. And so we just picked up what was passed down to us. You had something, you look like you about to burst.
Girl, no, I'm already where Abraham at. I'm in Abraham right now. I am. Okay. Yes.
And the next thing he said, get away from your kindred. Now, your kindred are people that you've connected yourself with that do you no good. It can be your brother, sister, mother, husband, children, whatever. He's saying, get away from those outside things that are pulling you in a direction that I'm not taking you.
Right. And it's not necessarily your family, but
although you connected to your friends, your enemies, your co-workers, your boss, whoever it is that's influencing you, that this is not the way, that this is the way to go, but this is not the way that God has presented for us. And so there are steps you're going to have to take. We can't always sit here and say, God, will you please do this? God, will you please do that? Because he's given us the tools to do it for ourselves. And he's allowing us to have the spirit that's going to lead us. And once we connect everything, once we get all of our energy points together, we're going to move as the water flows, because we're going to be lucrative and we're not going to be stagnated and balled up into a ball.
We're going to be in the flow of where spirit wants to take us. And I want to go back to kindred. It's a group of related individuals. Now, this may more. It could be your family members. It could be people that you consider family, but it's kindred, people that you relate to, people that you connect with. And this can go throughout your life's journey, because 2019, I had to sever some ties with some people that I related with. Why? Because when God wants to take you higher, you're going to have to sever that so that you can propel. You can't propel when you are bound and connected to something that's
the more weight that you have. That's what the scripture says, lay aside every weight that so easily besets you. So the more people that you have pulling on you, most people are sucking something out of you. Very few people that you're kindred with or adding to your life. And you have to come to a point that if you're going to be the greatest version of yourself, there are some weights that you're going to have to lay aside. And so
Right.
really, I really believe that when he was talking about kindred here, he wasn't talking about the family. And the reason I say that, because he goes back to say, and your father's house, which means that will be your family. That will be your blood connection. So I think that he covered the country. He covered those people that are associated with you, and he covered family. So those are three things. In the three, there's always resurrection. Now, God never tells you to leave something that he's not going to replace that something with something greater.
Now, wait a minute, because I hear you. I hear some of y'all. That's my clue. I'm leaving my husband tonight. I'm packing my bags and I'm getting out. Now, wait a minute. Wisdom is a principal thing. Now, if we just want to enlighten you. We don't want to where you can't operate in wisdom. Because now I'm not saying that may be your answer.
Mm-hmm.
This may be your answer, but call on me and I will answer thee and show you great mighty things. Consult with God. Consult with the Holy Spirit.
Oh, yeah, he'll show you.
Yeah, he'll confirm out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. So it's 2 of us here. So we need one more person. Then you can leave your husband if you get a 3rd witness. Go on pack your bags, girl. Leave right now.
This is not a head decision. This is a heart decision.
Yeah.
Because it's a connection with God. So everything, some of us are trying to get back what we lost. Mm-hmm. Those that left us, but everything that you lost, God didn't necessarily, he didn't need to bless you to go forward. Right. So you really didn't lose anything. Sometimes God, he said he'll only present to you an awesome gift. He's not just going to give you any gift. He's going to give you the best gift. And so sometimes we just hold on with our head. Right. And God is saying, I have so much better for you. So that's what
holds people back. That's what holds people back, co-host, is fear and not being able to operate by faith. And this is a great thing why I love the story of Abraham, mm-hmm. because he allowed himself to do that. And I know I'm kind of trying not to get ahead of it, but so many people allow fear and doubt and uncertainty cloud their hearing in their heart on what God is trying to lead them and take them. And just so much that he wants to show you and provide for you if you allow yourself to free yourself from those weights that are besetting you. Sincerely. Yeah.
And some of those weights are setting you up for things that you don't will for your life. And so what we have to do is we have to open our heart up.
Open our hearts
with our head and open our eye up, not your eyes, your eye, your inner eye, your first eye, what I call it, some people call your third eye, your mm-hmm. intuition to know. Because a lot of times we are clouded. That's why we're not here. We're clouded with so many things that are going on, and it blocks our hearing to make the correct decision for our lives. So yes, we're not saying quit your job. We're not saying leave your husband. We're not saying any of those things, but people would take it like that. So I'm glad you brought that in and clarified that, because that's not what we're saying. That's why you have to be spiritual. Mm-hmm. You have to be spiritual. This is spiritual speaking. You got to have the word become flesh, not the flesh become word. Right. And so you have to be mindful of what's being said. This is not carnal minded thinking. This is spiritual minded thinking. And so as we begin to go through that, so he told him to leave those areas. And I'm sure that he was saying those are some mental thoughts that he had, some head mental thoughts that were going on with him that had attached itself to his mind. And so he was just saying, these are some things that you're going to have to let go in order that I can get you to. And he says, the land that I will show you. So he told the children of Israel, he said, I will give you the land that you see. Now, if you're not seeing that place, if you're not seeing that destination. If you're not seeing that gift, then you're blind to it. And God's answer is yes and amen. So you have got to find and define yourself in a place that you see where you're going.
Right. Because when God starts to call you, he's going to call you out of your present situation. And that call is always something that is internal. It's your heart.
Right.
It's your mind in your own voice saying to you, leave what you know now. And it's interesting because a lot of people, the majority of people, they know I'm called to do something, but I don't know what it is. Don't be concerned about what it is. You just be open your heart, and when you say yes, then you'll get your next order. That's just from my experience. Because there have been many times God told me to do something and I didn't know what was going to happen after this, that, what, another. I just did it. And sure enough, as soon as I took a step, the waters parted and I was able to walk on dry land into where he was taking me.
Yeah, so the unknown is more powerful than the known. When God takes you to unknown places, be not afraid, take courage, because he's not going to take you anywhere that he's not going to lead you through it and to it. So in the trance, we're going across through and beyond. So we're either transitioning. That's why we've got to define what we call death physically on this side as a transformation, as a transition, that person has been graduated. They have completed their assignment here, and they have gone on to another assignment. And yes, we'll miss them. Yes, we miss them. I was thinking about my brother today, and I really wanted him here today in the physical, but I know that his journey was complete. There was nothing else he could be useful for here now, because that's what he was created to do and to be, and he carried it out to the letter.
And a lot of people, we're deviating from that, but that's good because a lot of people don't seem to, what's the word, accept that is the case.
Yeah.
They left me. Why they leave me like this? I'm stuck with these kids. What is going on? No, remember, we are all, this is my analogy and what really gives me peace. We're all traveling.
Right. We're on a journey.
On our own spaceship. And when we connect with people, they go along with us to a journey. But the thing is, it's like we're all single, yet connected. So when you connect with someone and you marry them, that's a part of your story. It's a part of their story. And whether or not they for to death do us part, that's what it said. So whether it's a family member or a partner or someone a friend, their story has been fulfilled. And it's not for you to try to understand. We can't understand.
And I think that's where most of our hurt comes from. Because we're trying to understand, why did this happen, or why did they leave me? We're not understanding that we have to go back to which we came. We have to go back to the spirit. Now, you go back to the spirit when you leave this journey, or you can go back. You can be absent right now and go to the spirit. And so we have to, that's why our journey is very important, with us staying joined to the spirit, because the spirit is going to lead you to all truth. And while you're trying to understand in this land, nothing's understandable in this land. So it's not even real. It's an illusion. It's just an experience that we're having on our journey to greatness. We're always going up, from glory to glory. We're all faith to faith and glory to glory. And when you begin to see your journey as going up, rapturing, coming out of, and going into, it's just another vision. So he told Abram, he said, look, once you leave all of this, I'm going to take you to the land, a land that I'm going to show you. And nobody else will be responsible for what I'm about to show you. So when God speaks to you like that and you don't know where he's taking you, just go. What Nike say, just do it. Mary told the people, whatever he tells you to do, just do it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
don't look for no explanation. We've been taught that we have to have an explanation for everything, but we don't always have to have an explanation. We do have solutions, and we allow ourselves. If you look at solution, um, it really should be solution, because the answer is in your soul. And so it should be, instead of solution, it should be solution. So you're going to find your answer within your soul, because your soul is universal. It's not just your soul, it's a universal soul and spirit that God has brought together individually and collectively. And so that's why he's saying, forsake not yourselves. We thought it just meant church, just going to church every Sunday, but forsake not yourselves from the universal spirit and the soul, because you're totally grounded and connected and joined to that spirit. That's what we have in common. That's what we have in common. And
So
when
he
we get
told
in, go ahead.
so he told him, he said, once you leave, I'm gonna show you something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
make
that's
you
what he told me. That's what he told me. Once you leave Alabama and go back to the land, go back to Atlanta, I'm going to open every door for you. And as he began to open the doors, I'm thinking, man, I'm going to be preaching everywhere. I'm going to be
literal.
doing. Yes. But the doors that he has opened to me, whew, have been spiritual, have
Yep.
been heartfelt, have been meant. I didn't just get here overnight. This was an evolution. I evolved here. And I evolved here. I've been here back 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been multiple doors that have opened. So he was actually telling Abram, I'm about to open some doors to you, and you don't need no distraction. What were you about to say?
I'm looking at, I will make you into a great nation and I will bless you.
Yeah. Now, what
If
more
you
can you
just
ask
answer
for?
the call, you got to get it out first. So see, it's like this. It's like you hear a whisper. You be like, where's that coming from? Where is that? And you keep following the voice. You be like, where is that? And you walk out, and the farther you get away from where you need to get away from, the more resonant it becomes. So that's why God has to call you out of those situations, circumstances, people, places, and things that aren't a part of your elevation. So he's got to call you out to bring you up. He's got to call you out now, because you're connected to things that are no longer serving you. They're not a part of your elevation.
Right.
But you got to answer the call. And it's
so
only
when
going to
he
be a
said,
call. There ain't going to be no directions. It's going to say, look, you got to go.
yeah,
So
and he doesn't always give you all of the directions. Like he told me, I'm going to open every door to you. And he left it like that. So I'm thinking one thing with this.
and that's why you can't tell folks, because they'll think you crazy as all get out. What do you mean? He gonna open every door. Did he give it? No, that's all God told me. Well, he needs to tell you something, and then you get all that corruption, and then fear and doubt will be clouded. That's why you can't tell nobody nothing when God is talking to you. You just
And
gotta
that's kind of what
move
he's saying.
in silence.
Right. Alone. You
But we
gotta
go, we
move
go,
in silent alone.
but we
Yes.
gonna
He
find
said,
out what happened when you don't do that. So
I
he
will
told.
make of thee a great nation.
Mm-hmm.
This again, we must know our nationality. That's some of the stuff we're gonna get in that's deep. Black is not your nationality, white is not your nationality. Those are colors of law. They're not your nationality. That's not your nationality. And so until we find out who we are, we can't be a great nation. Now, one thing he said, when we talk about nation, we're seeing it as multiple people together. But he's also saying you are a nation within yourself. Because he also said in Jeremiah, he said, before you was in your mother's womb, I called you to be a prophet to the nation. And so the first prophet, the first person you should be prophesying to is yourself. And you're that nation. And once you prophetically speak in your own life with affirmation, meditation, prayer, all of those things are prophetic ways that you speak into your life. They're not just to go out to others. You've got to love yourself first. So you got to prophesy to yourself first. And then you strengthen yourself to be great in this whole conglomerate of nations, you know.
He said, I'll make you. That's like, okay, think about making a cake. Okay, you got to have some ingredients. You got to have some instructions. You got to have the right equipment. So it's not just going to happen overnight like, bing. No. He said, I will make you. So that means that calls preparation. And this is what Abraham is getting ready to go through, preparation.
Yeah, but the first thing he said when he said, I'm going to show you a land that I'm giving unto you, I'm sure Abraham was like excited, like, oh, I'm about to get this land, and I'm about to have all this, and I'm about to have all that, and it's not my daddy's stuff, it's not my sister's stuff, my brother's stuff, this is my stuff that God has given me. And I'm sure he was very excited because he thought the moment that God said that land was going to be right in front of him, that it was manifested right then, and it was. But there's a transition of a cross through and beyond. You, like he was talking about that cake, you got to have some fire.
But the great thing about it is that what God does it, if we really are able to see it for what it is, when God gives you an idea, a vision, he says, I'm going to make you a great nation. So what immediately happens when God gives you something? Your imagination goes into full effect. It goes into, and you start imagining. But that is God talking to you, and your imagination is like it's like the outcome. So when he says, I'm going to make you a great nation, Abraham's imagination, boom, immediately
he began to see it. Right. He began to see that.
And it's good to focus on the out goal, but you know, we've come to know that it's great to focus on the out goal, but we got to understand the outcome, that from A to Z, you got B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, all that.
Right. And so as he saw all of that, he says, I'll make you be a great nation. I'm going to bless you, and I'm going to make your name great. Again, he said three things. Just like he told him, leave your kindred, leave your country, and leave your father's house. Then he said, I'm going to make you a great nation. I'm going to bless you, and I'm going to make your name great. And so the excitement that God would tell you when you say, oh my God, when I said, God says he's going to open every door for me, I'm like, man, I can't wait to get out of Alabama. I can't wait to get back to Georgia. When I cross that Georgia line, I'm going to get out and kiss the ground. And I did that. Right at the Georgia line. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Okay. The moment that I got here, hold on. Okay, the moment that I got here, there was all kind of stuff that hit the fan. Oh my God. I'm like, God, okay, what happened to all of those doors? Because it looks like the doors were closing, not opening. But what we don't understand is some doors had to be closed. You know, I kept saying, God, why am I struggling? He said, this is not struggle. This is preparation. This is preparation. And so he said, and I will bless them that bless you and curse them that curse you. You don't have to curse out nobody. God already said curse them that come against you.
But it feels so good, co-host. It feels real good for about 3 or 4 seconds. Because I'd be like, I told him. My ego be like, yeah, girl, you told him. You told him. Then the spirit be like,
you didn't do nothing. You didn't do nothing. You didn't do nothing but stress yourself out. You know, you cussed them out for that moment, but they going about their business, man. And so he said, I'm going to bless those that bless you. And the reason that he said that, because he's already established, as a man soweth, that he shall reap. So when people begin to bless you, they're not giving you anything. They're actually giving themselves something. They're actually giving themselves some interest. They're entering rest, some interest. When they're blessing you, Now there's some interest too when they curse you.
Let's stay right there, co-host. Let's walk this out to and we'll pick up next week. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the benefits of when we bless others, when we speak well of others, when we are feel compelled to financially contribute to others, when we feel compelled just to be moved, whatever spirit is telling us to do for others. What you're doing is when you are heeding to the voice of what spirit is telling you to do in order for that person. You're like, what'd you say? You're creating interest?
Interest. Yeah.
You're entering a rest.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing this both ways. I'm seeing this how you are calming the voice of your conscience.
Mm-hmm.
And you're also collecting interest.
Yes.
On what's going to come back to you, because it says, give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure.
Press down,
running over.
Running over.
That's the interest.
Yeah.
So if you lose yourself from the fear and the concept of, oh, if I give this, I'm gonna be out of that. No, when you give that, it's gonna come back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall men. So it's you, one person. God is asking you to probably bless one person. But because you bless that one person, because your spirit, you got 12 other people that's going to bless you.
Yes. And what we need to make, put maybe a pin at, blessing others is not just money. Not just money. And so we limit ourselves when we say, well, I can't bless them because I don't have money. It could be a ride to the store. It could be a word that you give them, just encourage them, say good morning. I just send blessings and energy towards your way. See, we've got to open up our heart to see what God did for us. He did more than give us money. He gave us life. He gave us all kinds of things, promises. Yes. And so we've got to open ourselves up, even when, stop saying you're paying your bill, because you're not paying your bills. You're investing and you're giving. And as you're giving, you're going to get back those things and more. So we've got to change the way that we think heartly so we can line up headly and we can move forward in balance to where we're going in our situation.
Well, but let's just get real about this, because we're going to wrap up tonight talking about this, because I feel compelled to share this. And really, because, and we have been conditioned. And this is what has held back so many in the church, because I was brought up in the church.
Me too.
And I just could not understand. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Didn't we just raise $1,000? Why can't we give to so-and-so? Their house done burned down. Oh, no, sister, we got to go through and vote through the board and do all that. I'm like, but wait a minute. Why we got to vote on that?
Yeah.
I could not wrap my head around that. And I'm not knocking the church. I'm just saying, that we were conditioned and our mentality was designed with fear and lack, and I just could not understand why we got to vote on that. It just makes sense to me that if I got $1,000 and so-and-so need 500 and I'm getting paid next week and I can move some money around and delay some payments, I'm going to give 500 to sister so-and-so. That's just me. Oh, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. Oh, no, I ain't got it. And you sitting on $10,000 in your savings account. I don't understand. That don't make sense to me.
People have always said, I'm saving for a rainy day. But I always say somebody else's day is raining. And so if you have it.
Yeah, who rainy day you saving from? Yours or somebody else? Because you created something, a scenario for you to have to deplete your savings when if you give to your fellow man who need it when it's raining in their life, you collecting interest for 12 other men to bless you and give you a return on your investment.
Well, what God actually shared with me, he said, if you trust me and you trust you to trust me, then when someone else's need comes up and you have it, trust me that if you, I've already selected the principle that if you give, it shall be given to you. So I'm going to supply all your needs. And since I'm your shepherd, you shall not want. So where's your anxiety coming from unless you're trusting yourself and not trusting in me? Because I'm your supplier and I will, and I'm telling you, I'm living it, and he will make that supply. And sometimes we're afraid that if we give, we're not going to have, but that's the wrong mindset. That's why he said he wanted a cheerful giver, a hilarious giver, a giver that's not afraid to give. That's basically all God was saying. Don't be afraid to give because I've already established the principle. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we get that, we come out of poverty minded into prosperity minded. Because if God owns everything and we're in the will, we have inherited. We have an inheritance.
Could it be that the reason why some things have just not come forth for you is because you're being held down from that lack mentality because you're afraid, because you feel afraid that you're going to lose something? That's lack. That is lack. Some of you are launching businesses, but you don't believe in your business enough to invest in it. Some of you are sitting on thousands of dollars, and you pass by brother so and so on the corner, drunker than a skunk,
Mm-hmm.
and you know somebody at the rehab center. Well, all you'd have to do is pick the man up, take him there, let him get his spiritual mind right. You got 2 or 3 houses that's sitting there because you can't rent them out. Why? Because God don't shut that door, because you won't allow the man that's sitting there a place to live, for him to see God through you.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, because it says it's love that leads you to repentance. Could it be that the reason why he getting drunk every day because he done gave up? Because he don't see God's love? I'm
Yeah,
just
we
saying.
become judgmental. Yeah, we become judgmental of people's
I'm sorry.
situation.
I'm being illegal
No,
tonight. I'm judging. But I
no,
just
I'm
feel compelled
saying
to share this. I just,
no. I'm saying we judge people's situations
yeah.
because I was judged. Why she
Where's your
still living in a
compassion?
hotel? Why is she still living in a hotel? What's she doing with her money? She don't work every day. I was judged, so I know how it feels, and I've
Yeah.
experienced it. And so now that I know, and I had to go through that so that I would have the compassion not to do it to somebody else, because I've
Yep.
been there.
Yep.
Single parenthood is not a joke. And so as you begin to see, I wanted so bad to have a homeless ministry. And God, you know what God told me? He said you had to be homeless to minister to the homeless. So sometimes we ask for things and we don't know what the preparation is to get to that point. So I had to
Right.
be homeless. And I didn't
Right.
even know I was homeless until the school said, well, you're homeless. I didn't think of homeless as not having a permanent address. I thought of
Yep.
homeless as being outside in the cold and didn't have anywhere to go. But the world thinks of you differently. So
Right.
they the one who told me I was homeless. I didn't think I was homeless living in a hotel. Um, and so when God, when you ask God for things, you better be ready for the unknown.
Yes. And
Because when you're
we're wrapping it up, ladies and gentlemen. We got a couple minutes, but I know that really gets to me. And I know that's why I know that not very long I'm gonna have me $10 million. I know it because I know what I'm gonna do with it. Because of the fact that it infuriates me that people who have the means to
right.
help others won't.
Yes. There's no, like I said, there's no reason that Atlanta should have people on the streets living under bridges with all of this money that is in this city. All of these entertainers that that are buying gold, a gold basin in their home when they could feed somebody. I'm not saying you can't enjoy the nicer things in life, but
You
come on now.
can. You can. I've seen millionaires who are traveling the country, living out of a van, and they don't give a rip.
Mm-hmm.
And they donate and they give to so and so and this and that and whatnot. And but the thing is that I'm just challenging each and every one of you who are watching.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking you to step out of the scope of what you are capable of. I'm just asking you to work within the scope of what you are capable of.
Right.
You may not, I remember, Michelle, driving my Honda Prelude, 1984. Was it 84? 85. And it was it was holes in the baseboards of the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I'll never forget this. And I was driving, and I looked at a bus stop, and there was this little young girl, and she had this little baby, and my heart just started bleeding for her.
Mm-hmm.
And I reached in my wallet and gave her $20. I said, "Here you go." I said, "I don't have much, but I'm getting misty. I don't have much. I wanted to help her see that God is seeing her, that he, I told her, be encouraged, keep going, don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what people are going through.
Exactly.
But make no mistake,
exactly.
A person can hear you when you give them some money. When you meet that need, because it's so clouded by, what am I going to do? How am I going to take care of this? But when somebody meet that need, then they calm down, and then they can listen. And then they go, oh my gosh, that was God.
Yeah. Because I didn't know that lady.
Yes.
So those are the things that give me joy. I mean,
yes.
it's like
Ooh.
it's like that is just like a place that I love to be in. And when
Yes.
you're in that place, God
Ooh,
honors
like
that. He honors that. So he even told Abram, he said, I'm going to bless you. Bless those that bless you. Curse those that curse you. And I'm going to even bless families through you.
Yep.
And so he has given that same charge to us. He's saying, come out of that. Come out of that man-made mess that you have been conditioned with in your mind, and just follow me. I'm going to take you to your land. But on your way to your land, you're going to experience some things. And I'm going to be there with you. I'm not going to take you through something that I'm not going to be there to carry you through it. So no matter how hard your situation is today, no matter what you're going through today, God is saying, just leave all the doubt, leave all the fear, leave all the depression, and just listen and follow me, because I'm going to take you to the land. I'm going to take you there. So allow God to let you see the next step.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to speak. Allow him to tell you the next step. You got to hear your next step. Sometimes you can't see it. Sometimes you just got to hear it. And so this is a nation, or nations, that God was creating in Abram. And Abram went on a trip.
Yes. And then we're going to be talking about that trip next week, ladies and gentlemen. Because when God calls you out, he's like, okay, get ready. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But guess what? I'm going to be with you, and it's going to be exciting.
Make sure you follow the directions to the letter. God told me to leave Alabama, and he said, don't bring nothing with you.
Oh,
and I brought some stuff with me, and I lost every bit of what I brought with me, because he told me don't bring nothing.
And we're gonna close that out, because that's gonna lead into next week's episode, ladies and gentlemen, where we're gonna be picking up Abraham, because Abraham getting ready. He done packed his bags, and he getting ready to leave and go forth. But
he's loaded up the U-Haul.
But there's that's a plot twist coming. It's a plot twist. So we will hope that you guys tune in next week, spiritually speaking, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here via KP Media and streaming all over the social media platforms, worldwide live, simultaneously. The great Michelle Massey-Washington, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, my love.
Namaste. Namaste. I bow to the divine presence in you.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sharing. And all of you on social media, thank you for sharing. Catch on the replay. We hope that this has been a wonderful blessing for you. It is our intention just to enlighten and encourage you and to take you higher into God so that your consciousness can be expanded and you can just start operating in the fullness of God.
Royalty and riches. Royalty and riches.
If you want it, girl. If you want it. That's right. Thank you, co-host, so much. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you next week, my love. And everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. And until next week, stay in love. Hello, everyone. It is a new year, new season, new everything. So join me Friday on the Right Along with Vanessa Morning Show for another exciting topic and another word that's going to bring you the raw, real enlightenment and encouragement that you need for 2021. Join me, won't you? Stay in love. Thank you for enjoying the show. If you have an awesome product or service that you would like Vanessa to promote, go to www.vanessaklinger.com/show sponsor and we'll get back to you. We have monthly sponsorship programs, ad slots, all kinds of wonderful great things to promote your product or service. Contact Vanessa today